Okay, what is going on, guys? It's your boy Remy. Today we're gonna be looking at patch 3.55 of Brawlhalla. It just dropped this morning at 5 a.m. and while I've already seen the notes, I don't actually know what's going on in them. So let's go ahead and hop in a training room here and let's pull up the patch notes. All right, so scrolling down, we got the new drip, of course. The Yumiko skin is really good. I like the little thingy they did. I guess we can also look at them in game. Take a second to look at the skins here, and then we'll move down into balance. They add skins all the time. Since this is the first one of these I've done, I'm gonna explain it. They add skins all the time, but I'm not actually gonna always look at the skins. I only do these when there's a balance patch, and there happens to be a balance patch this time, so I'm gonna look at it along with the skins. I like it because of this thing, and for no other reason. The bow might be good. I'll look into it when I pick Koji later in the video. And then the other skin is the Mordex skin, which I don't like. I don't know. I feel like Mordex gets so many of these, like just like skins, but I hate them all. Like I just don't like them. But yeah, those are the skins. Scrolling down, Brawl of the Week, canon update. I'm gonna do that in a different video because it's an entire rework. And then you look at the new Miami Dome map for free for all. Now I don't play free for all, but I actually do want to look at it. So big Miami Dome. Oh, it moves. Actually, okay. I didn't know it moved, and that's really cool that it does. Miami Dome is always gonna be like a favorite map of people, so it's nice that they did it. It's because the beat go off, as you can hear here. But yeah, it's just a free-for-all map, so it's nice. I feel like they definitely widened out the kill boxes. You still can't go under, which is just like Miami Dome's thing, I guess, even in free-for-all. But yeah, that's just the new map for that game mode. Music's gonna stay on. I've been wanting to leave music on in my videos now because I feel like when I'm not talking, it just gets like zoned out. But I don't listen to music when I play, which is why it's off. Personally, I don't know. Tell me what you guys think. Would you prefer like when I do like 1v1 videos or 2v2 videos? Would you prefer music on or off? Just let me know. All right, back to this. So going down, we get right into the balance, and for this, I'll just pick Bodvar. So we're looking at Unarmed here, and to read this off, it just says obviously if it's cut off or anything, it's because of Brawlhalla at the bottom. But we're looking at it and it says just some, I'm not going to read this all. It's just like the broad spectrum of like what they want to do. But we're looking at it and we go, all right, unarmed sidelight. They changed their recovery time on hit and they changed recovery time on miss. And then we also have, okay, that's really annoying. Yeah. Okay, some of the music is good and some of it is not. We have unarmed Sair, same thing. Recovery time on hit, recovery time on miss, recovery time on miss for just like static recovery, and then ground pound damage and force. Now ground pound damage and force, I'm gonna start at the bottom here because this is like the biggest one that I feel like you'll like, I don't know, understand. I don't think I need to set the bot to have the same defense as me, really. Doesn't really matter. I should have set these up beforehand, but it's whatever. I don't like looking at hurt boxes because they're just all circles, so. And yeah, alright. So, give me a second to think of Bodvar's stats. The thing with Unarmed is that previous to this, and this move is still insane, this move needs to be nerfed, but off topic. Since they didn't nerf it, we're not going to talk about it, but it's broken. The thing with Unarmed is you have a lot of this, just like that, and that's gonna, and you see it's still one frame, so it's gonna keep happening. This is how you open up a game usually because it doesn't get dodged, and you can see it doesn't go into sidelight anymore. Now it's 4 frames in sidelight, but it's still, you're getting the Sair and light, and I feel like Bodvar is like 6 decks, right? On higher, it'll probably still be like unavoidable, like right there. I'm still getting it true, and this is, I don't know if you find this a problem, but this is how you open up an unarmed match basically. So having that always be an option, it's not necessarily a problem, but it's definitely something you have in mind when you're targeting unarmed Sarah. So the recovery did go up on hit and on miss, but the recovery didn't go up enough on hit to where you're getting rid of this combo. So I don't understand why the on hit recovery was changed at all, honestly. And I said I was gonna talk about ground pound, but I turned into unarmed Sarah. But yeah, so the on hit for Sarah doesn't seem, I don't see the goal of it. I don't think it does much. Like, that didn't affect much. And let me make sure I'm reading this right. Change recovery on hit from 0 fixed variable to 1 fixed 18 variable. So yeah, it's less recovery on hit. And they didn't nerf the damage or anything, so recovery time on miss is 0 fixed 20 variable to 3 fixed 18 variable, which means it's just more in general, but it's not, still feels the same move. You're still gonna be throwing this out. Not really big changes. See how sidelight feels. Oh, sidelight is a lot more noticeable with what they wanted to do. Oh, I was reading sidelight, but yeah, sidelight feels a lot more like noticeable than Sarah. I've been like doing the Sarah, and it feels like the exact same as it was before. And I'm looking at it, and it was changed, and both recovery on hit and on miss were changed, but it's just like literally reading it, it looks more like a buff than a nerf. And I was pretty sure it was a nerf, but it's just like they're nerfing you for missing it, but they're rewarding you for hitting it. And I feel like even that itself is yeah, it's still one frame. Even rewards for hitting unarmed shouldn't be a thing, but that's just my opinion, I guess. So unarmed still gonna be the same. Even the ground pound, which is what I was gonna go into, doesn't matter, because the way you're using ground pound is like that's the most damaging one, and that's why you do it. And it's still the most damaging one because they've nerfed off the other ones so much. So you're still gonna be doing down like ground pound. Off stage, the force was nerfed, but you do down like ground pound in a position where they really have no options. They're not going to avoid it. Like when you're hitting this or you're hitting this, they're going to die because they got hit by that. So honestly, all in all, the unarmed nerfs won't affect anything. Unarmed is going to be in the same spot it was, where it's like you're fine without having a weapon for a bit, because just the, I don't know, quirkiness of unarmed, just like the stupid stuff it does in the moment before the person slows it down and realizes you're playing unarmed, that stuff's still there. This stuff is still gonna be happening. You're still gonna get people dash jump staring in neutral, just like when they don't have a weapon, and you can punish it. It's not that you can't punish it. You can punish it, but the first one and the second one always catch you off guard, and they're removing damage, but they're not adding stun, as you can see from this patch. So I don't know where they want to take unarmed. Obviously, you don't want to lose a game because you can't get a weapon, but you should lose a game after a while of not being able to get a weapon, and that should be the goal. You should be aiming to pick up your weapon, but you shouldn't be out because you dropped it. And then this goes into another whole thing with weapon throws, which I won't get into. But moving on, we have gauntlets, and I'll do gauntlets with another weapon just to be able to show what's happened to the other weapon as well. So I think we want to do spear here, so we can also look at the sidelight. So we'll go on Wushang. Wushang has 5 force, so I'll move him and me. And I think he also has 5 defense, so Shang on Shang violence. Oops, I suck. Yeah. Okay, so we're looking here at gauntlets. Oh, I didn't full screen any of that damage, but it's fine. I don't think I really need to either. So we're looking here at gauntlets, and gauntlets changed was downlight stun. That's gonna make downlight recovery true, I'm assuming. Then you have sidelight vertical hitboxing coverage at the start. So it's not, why not, I gave him gauntlets, holy shit. So we're looking at it, I'll make this full screen for you guys. We're looking at the growth in hitbox at the initial point, so it's like here, and they just made this bigger. It still matches the animation, it looks really fine. This, no opinion on whether it's going to be noticeable. In the way you use gauntlets, that I didn't feel like that was a problem, maybe a help with reads or something, but that one seems like not that big a deal. If when I started to dodge reaction down and just show like, oops, I'm terrible at this game, by the way, guys. Yeah, that would have hit anyway. So if we want to turn it to left, that's still not gonna hit unless you like wait super long. So it's a thing. But I feel like my point is you could have been doing most of these anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah, but still gonna connect. I feel like it's consistency, which is no problem with consistency, I guess. And then what you see now is the downlight thing. I want to. Sorry, I'm starting early, but what we're looking for on that is it true now? Because that's what this difference is probably gonna be. Like this was already true, right? I think reverse might be true again if it wasn't already. Still one frame, or maybe I'm doing it wrong. Try again. 3 because I looked away from my screen, but yeah. Yeah, so that's true too. A bit tighter, but still true. That's 2. So, and this is looking at the Nair buff rather than maybe that's gonna be true again. We might have to see. So set this to 100. And then let's see if this is true now because this was 1 frame before. It's 3. So it's not that big of a deal for most situations where you're looking at gauntlets. Like if I do this, it's still 3 frames. But what the closest thing is probably going to be is downlight recovery, and where you're going for that is like at this point in the game where you need the kill. And now it's true. So that's a nice buff to kill options. Not against it. I was already going for it and it was hitting. So seeing it just made more consistent is all in all a good thing. Nothing to say about that downlight change. Feels like that's really the only thing it does. Now the Nair one is a big change because Nair is like usually the difference between where gauntlets are in their power. Like every time gauntlets have been super stupid, it's because of Nair. Like you can remember when it had the huge back hitbox. You can remember just like a lot of stuff about it. So how much stun Nair has is really important to like how good gauntlets are gonna be. So if we bring this up here and we want to look at what is available now with current Nair, and we're just gonna put them at 0 and then position reset on. So that's 1 frame again, and before that wasn't 1 frame, so that's really good for gauntlets. 1 frame. I'll try it again just to make sure. Oops, that was a misclick, but that's true, so that's interesting. You don't always have to chase dodge it. Let's see if I can do that again. It's hard, but there's no point in not chase dodging it also, but yeah. Oops, didn't jump. 2 was a bit higher, so it takes like a bit more time to get to him. Now. 1, yeah. So we're gonna be looking at stuff like that, and when we're looking at stuff like this, he needs to be damaged for that. 2 frames now. 1 frame. So, and this was 1 frame, but at that when you want to do this is like later healths, and it's not gonna be like available because they're gonna be much further away. But yeah, what we're looking at is like, okay, how big are my dodge reads now because of the fact that this is 1 frame again, right? So let's set it to orange, and then let's look at side light, Nair downlight, which was like the big they have no dodge, punish them thing. It's like this, that's 3 frames. So you might, like, honestly, it just seems like I don't remember what it was before the gauntlet nerf, but now it's like, it's just where it feels like it's where it was before. So you have that again, you have, it just opens up a lot more options for gauntlets that were gone, and obviously this is all good stuff, and that's 1 frame too, so that's amazing. Like, all of this is gonna feel really good for gauntlets. Where we are in the meta isn't where we were in last year's spring when gauntlets were like completely broken. Everyone's complaining about them. We're not in the same place, so we don't like. For example, Hammer into Gauntlets is not a good matchup for Gauntlets, and Hammer has received multiple buffs coming into where we are now. It even got buffs this patch. So what you're looking at is like, okay, Gauntlets are strong again, and this is gonna. Like I said, I've already read the patch notes. So I'm just going over them. I hadn't seen anything in game. I just read them, so I didn't actually know what became true and what not. So now what we're looking at is, I think Pugsy said this on Twitter, like a power creep scenario where it's like, okay, Orb is strong. Are we gonna nerf it? No, we're gonna leave it the same, and now we're gonna buff Gauntlets. Hammer is strong. Are we gonna nerf it? No, we're gonna leave it the same, and now we're gonna buff Gauntlets. We're gonna buff Spear. We're gonna buff this. We're gonna buff Sword. Nothing received nerfs this patch, as you're gonna see as we keep going down. And this is gonna come up again later. But yeah, just really good stuff for Gauntlets. You might see it come back, honestly. That's, like I said, 3 frames. So if they have no dodge, you can go for Nair and stuff again. Just like, I don't know what else is available, but Sidelight Nair doesn't feel like garbage anymore, and that's really big for Gauntlets. Sidelight Nair not feeling trash is really good for Gauntlets. This into the Sair, 3 frames. So yeah, I feel like it's gonna take time to see where Gauntlets land. Phazon's a really good Gauntlet player, so if you want to see how they're doing or how they end up, go check out him. And anyone else that decides to play Gauntlets, they're extremely fun, so it's good to see them when they're good and they're not overbearing. In Spring they were overbearing, nothing else was strong, so it just felt like Gauntlets were taking over. So looking at them now, I feel like this Nair change really brings them back up to pace with the other weapons because they were really struggling in professional play. The ground pound change, I don't really want to look at it, just it's faster. Decrease vertical threat when held, and verticals up and down, so yeah. But it starts up faster. Not it moves faster, but it starts up faster. 3 frames to be exact, so not that big of a problem with that. Let's look at Spear, which I'll skip to right now. Spear, Sidelight, the second swing now more consistent for follow-up, and let's see what they mean by that. All of the timestamps will be in the description, of course, but some of the ones, like I said, don't last that long, so it doesn't really matter. Spear. Okay, so this is Spear, and what they have claimed to do is make it so Sidelight sets up better. Let's look at that. And now they didn't increase stun, so all of this is so dodgeable. We're not looking at like just hitting sidelights. If you were hitting both your sidelights already, this doesn't matter. Like, we're looking at where you. Let me read. The second swing now has more consistent step location. Yeah, we're looking at where you hit nothing but the second one. Yeah. Okay. See that didn't happen before. It's saying now basically you will always get your downlight after the sidelight just by hitting it barely. Like you can see the tip. Even G Seed, where it's like you're in the air, it sends them like almost the same height where you'd be wanting to get your thing off. So it's just, I don't know, it's just consistency, I guess. But I will say it's not what Spear was looking for. Like, stuff like this is still gonna happen. Stuff like it's not the problem with Spear in the meta. The problem with Spear in the meta is that it just doesn't do enough of what the other weapons are trying to do. This is Spear's best move, and that's because it's bonkers. It makes no sense. It's just like this move is just like fundamentally broken, but Spear needs it and it's fine. But nothing else in Spear feels that way. Everything feels super fair and has way too much counterplay. And that sounds dumb to say that everything feeling too fair, but everything feeling too fair makes it not able to keep up with a lot of the stupid stuff that can happen with the other weapons. Like Hammer is doing 22 damage a hit. Cannon is unpunishable and kills you if you dodge once wrong, but Spear, now if you're good, you can hit your combos, and you could do this already. So I think Spear needs a little bit more love in something other than Nair. And I say this because every time they buffed Spear before this patch, it was looking at Nair, and they keep buffing Nair and buffing Nair, and I don't feel like Nair is what we should be looking at, because this move was never bad. This move is never gonna be bad. This move is insane. It does 18 damage, and the follow-ups off of a read is just like, it's strong, and it hits like that. It does a lot. So looking for nair buffs isn't it. You should be looking for sidelight in a way where it's not terrifying to go for. Like, this move in an actual game feels really bad to even attempt to use. And I feel like they should be looking at that rather than nair plus 2 damage, nair plus 2 stun. This change is good, but it's not good enough, and I'll leave it at that. Okay, so now we're looking at hammer, sword, blasters. Put this back up for you guys. Okay, so let's look at the blasters is just a downline recovery change. So I don't know how I want to look at that, but I think we have 2 left. We'll do Thor for hammer and orb, and we'll do Thatch. We'll start with Thatch just because I really don't want to start with Thatch because I don't play this. I don't play this sword anyway, so to me it's like foreign, I guess. But in all honesty, I don't even think I need to. So we'll lock this in, but let's explain what this downline recovery thing does. This downline recovery thing is to remove. This recovery nerf is to remove recovery killing so early, because obviously downline recovery is super strong on guns right now. But the problem with this is you're looking at it and you're like, okay, downline recovery kills at what, like 140 on some maps, and now it's gonna kill later. Yes, thank you, it's gonna kill later, but it's still such a fishy option that you're forcing. And now what you've also done is you've nerfed gun recovery on its base, and that was not deserved. It did not need to be nerfed on its own. Gun recovery was in a good spot. It didn't need nerfs, right? But now, because of the fact that downline recovery exists, we have to nerf gun recovery. So now in the future, let's say we get rid of downline recovery on guns, it's like gun recovery was hit for no reason. And I'm not saying they're gonna get rid of downline recovery. They should have gone rid of it and instead put power somewhere else, because yes, guns have trouble killing, but this isn't. You should never base your weapon on, okay, this is how I'm gonna kill this one. This is my one option to kill, and it does it on orange, and this is my option. Downline recovery wasn't true. They made it true. I don't know why they made it true. It doesn't need to be true. That's what I'm gonna say about that. I'm not gonna actually show you when it kills now, but I don't like the changes to guns. I feel like they could have buffed them in other places, removed downline recovery, kept recovery the way it was. They hit recovery on its own for no reason. Like, guns without downline recovery already feel like they can't kill anyway. So now you're just making it worse without downline recovery, pushing players to fish for downline recovery even harder now because you can't kill with raw recovery. There's no real nerf they can do to recovery. Obviously, you can't change how high it goes because of the fact that that's hitting it too hard on actually recovering. You don't want to nerf recovery. You want to nerf downline recovery, and that's my point. You don't want to nerf recovery. You want to nerf downline recovery. And they just need to figure out a way to do that without hitting recovery on its own. This isn't a big thing, obviously. It's for variable force, but it's the idea. It's the idea that how are we gonna deal with this? Oh, let's just hit it as a whole. And I don't think that's what they should be doing. On to the sword changes. I'm gonna do it on this character because I love this character and this is the only character I play. But even though he has high dex, let's go up. Read these sword sword sidelight, decrease recovery on miss from 220 to 020. Focused damage towards the end of the move, increase maximum travel speed, decrease force of the final hit by 10 fixed and 4 variable. That's insane. Okay. Wow, that's actually some crazy stuff that they decide to pull here. I play this character, by the way. I literally don't remember what force he has, but I play this character, by the way. Wuchang always works. Yep. Okay, so put him on no dodge for a second. And we'll just position reset him here. So when you get into sword sidelight exists in a scenario where it's like you don't see a lot of people going for it because risk reward for it is really weird. You have to your highest reward on sword sidelight before this patch. You can feel the recovery. The highest reward for Sword Sidelight before this patch was when they were slightly above you, but they had no dodge. So you would hit them, it would knock them into the air, and you get your Sarah. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch a tournament if someone plays Sword. You won't find any of those because no one plays Sword. Anyway, yeah, so you would sidelight them, and then you'd Sarah like that. Now, what that... Oh, let me turn my camera here. Sorry. What that is like is it's the scenario where you use highlight. You don't really throw it out that much, but now it has no recovery frames. So now you can throw it out that much. You still want to be careful with it, of course. If they're just like here, you throw out a sidelight, you're an idiot. You don't want to do that. But before you really didn't want to throw it out much at all. Now it feels like you can go for it a lot more. And the reward has been changed. So on 9 decks, that's true, by the way. The reward has been changed, so now your damage is at the end of the move. So you don't feel as bad when you miss a lot of it. Like, see, that's 11. Is that always going to be 11? It's always going to be 11 damage. You don't feel, like, bad when you just hit the end of it. So that's a good change for Sword on the sidelight thing. Maybe something stupid like downlight sidelight will return. Probably not, because that sounds terrible. Oops, can't do it because I'm terrible at the game. What is happening? Oh, I have neutral. I'm an idiot. Okay. But yeah. Obviously, like I said, I don't know what it opens yet. This was already a thing. Maybe you go for it more. And like, I feel like you don't want to do that because it's just risky. You can see the 4 frames when Endlight is 1. Obviously, it's less damage than you would have, but it's 1. Other than that, we're looking at increased force on final hit from 5540 to 5542. And I don't know when that's killing now, honestly. I feel like that's really good for downlight dare recovery, but downlight dare recovery was already true at a specific time. 160 on Shipwreck is not it. 170 will probably be it. Kills 170 on Shipwreck. Downlight dare recovery was 140 if I'm not an idiot. It's 150 on Shipwreck. Yeah, okay, so it's just a recovery force buff. Helps Sword in killing consistently. Not really a lot to say about it. It's fine. Moving on to Hammer. Let's speed this up because we can't upload 2 videos and it's getting into 27 minutes here. So spit it back so I can read it to you. Hammer, neutralite, decreased damage, nothing to look at. It should have never been this high. Nothing in the game is this high anymore. I don't know why they're keeping Hammer damage on 22 a hit. You feel so bad playing a lot of weapons when you get hit by a hammer move and oh, I'm in yellow because my weapon does 22 damage a combo and theirs does 22 damage a hit. Hammer Nair is still 22 damage. Don't know how much force this guy has. That's not it. It needs to go down. We'll start a character where I actually know. There. So Hammer shouldn't be doing this much damage ever, but fine. This buff was from 8 to 12 and they've moved it down 1. I don't understand why they even buff this move, but good, they're nerfing it. Now Stomp Sarah only does what, 31 damage for fun, I guess. We're having fun now. I still have to do SIGs too. Okay. Yeah, let me get this over with. So, oops. Yeah, okay. So, like I was saying, we're playing for fun, I guess, where this is acceptable damage, doing 31. Oops, let me reset it here. He's dead. Poor thing. Doing 31. Side air, increased stun. That is also weird, and you're not gonna... I don't know, and that's such an odd number. Why 31? Why not 30? Why not... It was at 32, why not 30? But whatever. We're looking at the biggest change on this, because those damage number nerfs honestly don't matter, but the Sarah is honestly one of Hammer's like hardest moves to really put into your play, because it's honestly punishable. It's not intense, like it's not intensely hard to punish, but you get my point. So being able to combo it now, which is what I'm assuming this does at white, obviously, because it's still hammer, so it still has like that high base force, is gonna be interesting. And 2s, it's gonna be insane. Might catch me pulling out the Bodvar. Obviously, that's true again. On Cassidy, you're gonna find some really crazy stuff. But to say the least, unneeded, I guess. Hammer's a wagon weapon. Dare still kills on orange. One more buff to hammer, and this weapon will be played in every single 2s game ever. It borderline already is. It's honestly insane. It has some. The reason it can't be picked in 1s is because it just has natural hard counters, and by hard I mean like 60-40. It's not that bad, but if you pick it into weapons into Katars, for example, where you just can't do anything against it. Gauntlets, you just can't handle that damage straight over and over again. You need 2 out of a read, where they just need 1 hit. But in 2s, it's just too easily to be picked. You should have 1 in every game, unless you're playing against my Koji, because I will destroy you. Moving into this was, looking at it, decreased force. This no longer, sidelight no longer does, sidelight there no longer does 29 damage. Instead, now we're looking at, this is 12, and this is Sarah's 14 damage, so we're looking at 26 now. And good. I like it there. It's 1 more than swords, and it's harder to input than swords. It actually is kind of tight to input. You see a lot of people miss it even in tournament. Obviously with time they'll get better at it, but like you see I'm getting 1 frame there. Like 1 out of 3 times I get 1 frame, and that matters in a tournament hard. So seeing it in the damage brought down is good. It should still be more rewarding than swords per se, but it shouldn't be like overbearing. You shouldn't be doing that much damage. They reduced this in the back, so it doesn't really hit here anymore. Fine. They obviously, whatever, I'll go into later. But yeah, that's not as disgusting. It's fine. Neutral air, stun. It made Nair, Sarah 1 frame instead of 2, apparently. Yeah, 1 frame. So, good for this, I guess. Moving into the next one, we're looking at recovery, force. I mean, it's just force, kills later. I can't test it because I don't want to set the bot to jump. Oops. That doesn't hit, so. But yeah, it's just recovery force. That's fine. It's gonna not kill you as much. That's good. Shouldn't be. I like the orb nerfs because orb feels good, and what they should be focusing on nerfing is damage over force, because it does too much damage. I mean damage over frames. It does too much damage. The frame data is good. The moves are healthy. This weapon's really cool. I really like this weapon in the game. I like bow and sword more, so I'm not gonna play it that much, but I really enjoy it. I feel like it's smooth. It is really well designed. It's easy to balance. It is balanced. The damage was too high. They're bringing it down. That's good. Everything on orb is good. I like it. That being said, signatures, I'm not going to actually go into them all, but you can basically see Artemis side lance, increased damage, increased hit window, by a lot. What? Holy what? Okay. Bodvar, decreased recovery time. Bodvar might be picked a lot because he has hammer and he has sword, and you want those weapons. Bodvar is going to be really good. You should look into playing Bodvar. I'm not even kidding. Especially in 2s. He's probably like going really high up in 2s characters right now. Caspian, horizontal threat coverage. Ooh, that's interesting. I might actually want to look at that. Down Qatar's recovery time. Doesn't matter. That's not viable. As you guys know, I am the one and only Boss Cross, so it's good to see these buffs come out for me. New damage. It's just damage, so I don't know why, but it's good to see that they're looking out for our boy, I guess. Going down, we have Ember, down bow, force on the aerial version, decreased. Oh, no, increased. Why? That thing kills you on orange. Like, if you hit that off stage, they actually just die. Not even orange like earlier. This is irrelevant. This character sucks. Isaiah, down blasters, increased damage, increased travel distance. That's cool, actually. Kaya Spear, decreased recovery time. This character is probably insane. Probably. Might be. I'm not sure yet. Not because of this, but in general, the stats are really strong right now. Her stats, her weapons could have a place. Spear is bad, like I said, but bow isn't. Her sigs are strong. She could have a place, depending on where we keep going with the spear changes. Petra, neutral orb, increased damage, decreased damage of final blast. Okay, so it should be doing the same, right? Increased total damage of final setup from 1 to 2, decreased damage for 1. Yeah, it's doing the same damage. Okay. Scarlet. Yikes. Do I even want to read this? Scarlet, down rocket lance, increased force, increased damage. This what y'all doing now? Coslicks don't win the line in 2 years. You say let's help them out. That's what y'all doing. I'm not a fan. I don't like. Undo it. Undo this one. I'm gonna do myself a favor here. Just, put that out of there. Make me a bit happier for the rest of the week, I think. Looking at Vector, increase that distance during transformation. Remove this character. Okay. Volkov. Volkov's side axe, increased damage of the uncharged version, 1819, increased force of the uncharged version, 57, 65 fixed. The knockback angle of the uncharged version is now more horizontal. All really good. This sig was really bad. This character is really cool though, and should receive a bit more love before he just settles in. This character is definitely term and viable. You're probably going to see Sandstorm pull it out at least once or twice. A lot more times than that, probably. Really good character. Really cool character. So it's one of those characters you want to see do well. So I'm happy that they're buffing this signature, which was really weak. Neutral Scythe, increased recovery time. This sig was broken, and they're nerfing it. This is really... So far, I really like these Volkov changes. This is really good stuff. They buff what was weak, and they nerf what was too strong, and made no sense to be this strong. Down Scythe, doesn't matter. It honestly just doesn't matter. But they increased the force for both, so that's good. Other than that, we're looking at bug fixes, legend location, playable, unplayable, unplayable, stupid, sleeper, my pocket pick, for fun, broken. Alright, and you have it. There's the patch rundown. Hope you guys enjoyed. This video is really long. Do I put CCs in it? You know what? I'm going to put a CC. My hand's off. Here, there's a CC, and then here's another one. You can have a CC here. Those are 2 CCs. You're welcome. 2 CCs. Maybe 3. One up here. Alright, there's 3 CCs. Good night. Have fun. Thank you for watching this long, and peace. It's not good night. As you can see, it's morning. But bye.